All
Go ahead, Owen.
right. All right, we took a chance on the Chiefs, and it paid off as the Chiefs' defense stepped up and stopped Lamar Jackson in the running game. The Ravens just ditched the running game completely. On the other hand, the Lions had almost closed the game completely, up by 17, but somehow sold the bag to the Niners. Now the Super Bowl matchup is a rematch. It's Niners versus Chiefs. And now we'll see if the Chiefs can pull it off again. It would be absurd. It would give Mahomes his third ring already. And it would be during a Chiefs kind of down year. They weren't the one seed. They didn't have a 13-4 record. Their offense wasn't as good as it has been. But Mahomes has come alive in the playoffs. But can we start talking about him as already being one of the best quarterbacks ever? Mikko, you're a Chiefs fan. Go ahead, give your opinion.
I am a Tom Brady lover. He is.
Really?
He's always been. I like Tom Brady. I don't. Yeah, he did beat us in the Super Bowl. That's the one. We both have lost. Both of our teams have lost Tom Brady. But guess what? Tom Brady completely crapped on the Chiefs. It wasn't even close. That's why you gain a little more respect, because at the time this looked like the best Chiefs roster from their 6-year dynasty. Would I consider Mahomes the GOAT though? I think it's a
Not
little
yet.
too early on. Maybe if
I'm not saying the GOAT. I'm
no,
saying one of the greatest quarterbacks.
I'll tell you, he could be one of the greatest quarterbacks. You never know. But look at who's in front of him. You got Dan Marino, you got like John Elway, Tom Brady, and obviously Joe Montana. Listen, Mahomes is a great quarterback. He's shown it throughout his years. He's a 2-time league MVP. This guy has already almost more MVPs. I think he has more MVPs than Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken.
Brady's had a couple. But Brady has just
I
been
know
dominant.
Manning.
They kind of got
I know
tired of his
Manning.
voting.
Yeah, fair enough. But at this point, I think he should be top 3 because he's leading his team. He's always leading his team to the divisional championship, right? And this year, this is where it like puts everything together. Where he's a top 3. He's managed to have a receiverless team, and he's managed to bring him to the Super Bowl, which in my eyes is crazy. We all thought, Owen, you thought they would barely squeeze out against the Dolphins and get completely blown out by the Bills, and potentially, you told me at the start, they had no chance of beating Baltimore. But now playoff Mahomes says everything, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I think he should be in the top 3 because of his playoffs performance.
Yeah, it's true. I doubted the Chiefs. I thought their offense wasn't good enough to run with the Ravens. I thought their defense wasn't the real deal. Now I'm completely on the other page. I think the Chiefs are this year have been the best team in the playoffs. I think they've been the most consistent. I think their defense has been the best, and they've been able to stop powerhouses like the Bills, like the Ravens. I would even argue the Dolphins are one of the better teams in the AFC. But Mahomes, I would argue that right now Mahomes has had a better career than Dan Marino. We talk about Dan Marino as one of the best quarterbacks ever. But the stats that Mahomes has, we're looking at over 28,000 yards. He's only thrown 63 INTs. He has an exceptional quarterback rating. He has 2 chips and maybe 3. This is his 4th Super Bowl. He's had 2 MVPs. The guy is already catching up to some of the greats, and he's only, 27? 28? He's still
28.
really young. He's still
28,
in his
yeah.
20s. By the way, Brady
I mean,
has only won 3 rings. Or not 3 rings, 3 MVPs. He's right up there with them.
it's fair enough. I mean, we talk about, some people talk about, can Mahomes potentially beat out Tom Brady in rings? It seems like he's at that pace. Tom Brady created an early dynasty with um, with the Patriots. And you know what? Mahomes 4 Super Bowls in what 5 years this is right now, if I'm not
Yes, it
mistaken.
is this fourth in
And
five
in
years.
yeah, and in his 6 years as a Chief, he has always gone to divisional championships. Many quarterbacks can't do that. You look at Joe Burrow, who only managed to squeeze out one divisional championship in his whole career. He's won one, he's lost one,
He's
right?
still young though.
And
He's still
see,
young.
that's he is still young. Don't get me wrong; he's an amazing player, but he hasn't quite had the start as Mahomes has. And then they talk about Josh Allen, how he's similar to Mahomes. He's really not, guys. Mahomes has been able to carry his team to playoff victories. What has Josh Allen had? Not he hasn't been able to bring them anywhere. So I don't know what this comparison is with the quarterbacks right now in the league. What you guys should be comparing with is all-time quarterbacks now, because Mahomes has proven it so many times why he is that guy.
Yeah, and Mahomes is a born winner. The guy has been exceptional throughout his whole career. He's not the GOAT of quarterbacks, and he won't be until he surpasses Tom Brady in most things. Brady will always be the best player in the NFL until somebody takes at least three of his three, like, if he takes if he takes a passing yard record, if he takes a Super Bowl record, if he takes all of that stuff, then he'll be the GOAT. But
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes is on a pace to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I mean, look at his stats. Already 2 MVPs, already 4 Super Bowl appearances. It could be 3 wins. I would argue if he wins the Super Bowl that he is a top 5 quarterback all time. I would put him I'd put Brady over him. I'd put Manning over him, and I'd put Montana over him. And then I'm putting Patrick Mahomes. And people might call that recency bias. I don't think that's recency bias. Because if you look at the stats, and if he gets another Super Bowl ring at the age of 28, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and I'm not apologizing for that take.
That's I may be a biased Chiefs fan, but that's a good take. Mahomes just shows how dominant he can be throughout his years in the NFL. Definitely shown it here. And while you guys say, "Oh, he's at Tyreek Hill, he's at Travis Kelsey," everything relies off him. They had the same team when it was Alex Smith, right? So,
That's true.
and he wasn't able to do it. That he was that guy. He's the one who brought him. So that's all you got to you can't compare anymore with.
Yeah, it's true. And now you can talk about Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill's gone. He's been gone. They went to a Super Bowl without him last year. Travis Kelsey is still excellent. Forget about the take where before the Buffalo Bills game. Forget that. He's still excellent. Um, but now his receivers, you can't rely on one guy. Now his receivers, Rashee Rice is a developing star, but who else? MVS is a bit of a veteran. He's a veteran type player. And then MVS is a veteran guy. Kadarius Toney is washed already early in his career. What is he, still 25? The guy has completely thrown his career. And then you have Sky Moore, who you're making it work. I can't even name the rest of the receivers. I've seen guys rotate in and
Richie
out, but Mahomes
James.
is making Richie James, but they just picked him up, right? Out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
they're playing him, they're making him work. And now Mahomes is bringing them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, truly outstanding to be honest with you. But you know, after this take, I think we should move on. We've spent 10 minutes on talking about Mahomes, but again, um, yes, the receivers aren't the best. I tell you. But we have some couple guys in there that can catch now. They've proven it against Miami, proven it against Buffalo and Baltimore. So back to saying back to saying what I was trying to say is I think what you were trying to say at the start, if we could beat the Niners, I think that it just proves that Mahomes is that quarterback now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be the face of this league for a long time.